Okay. So let's start with uh, Rebecca. He said, I would like a niche review. Okay. So, Rebecca, where are you calling in from?
I'm in Athens, Georgia.
Athens, Georgia. All right. I've never been there. So let's read what you got and we'll see what we have to say. I'm an integrative wellness coach and a shamanic practitioner for professional women with autoimmune disorders. I help them recover from burnout, decrease anxiety, and increase their energy so they can take their lives back, even if it feels impossible. Okay, is this what you've been doing, or is this something new you're thinking of doing?
It's a little bit of both. Like I have done this in the past and I kind of moved away from it a little bit. I wasn't as specific with autoimmune disorder piece of it, but that's who kept coming to me. So I'm saying it more specifically now.
Got it. And when they came to you with those autoimmune disorders, what was it? If if you could have, given them a potion that would just they would have to tell the truth and say it just directly, bluntly, and you were to say, what is your biggest craving? What is your biggest hope coming to me? What do you think they would say?
Um, oh, that's a good one. I think it would be like they don't know this, but it's usually about self-love and self-compassion. But maybe
Incorrect. Okay, it's good. It's good we're having this conversation. So, but this is, I mean, it's unfair, of course, because Rebecca's on the hot seat and the rest of you are not. But I really invite everyone to think about this and just try this even right now as you're listening. If your client had one sentence and you said you can have anything you want, pertaining to the reason you're seeing me, why are you here? What is it you want? In one sentence, what's the result? Because for us, we've got all these fancy terms. We got a diagnosis, we got a whole point of view of what we think is needed, what we want for them, but that is categorically different than what they're wanting for themselves. What they want for themselves, simple. What
Yeah.
we want for them, complicated. Yeah. What they
Yeah.
want for themselves, simple. What they want for themselves, or what we want for the thing we crave for them, the thing we know is possible for them, our diagnosis has so many fathoms deep. It's in three say it. But unless they're coming to you saying, Rebecca, got this autoimmune condition, I'm realizing what I really need is self-love and self-compassion. Unless they are saying that to you directly,
Yeah.
that's probably your diagnosis. So what would you imagine they're craving?
Well, they say they want to feel better. Like usually they're just like, I just want to feel better. Like I'm so exhausted. And sometimes they'll say, um, let me see if I can find the right words for him, but it's something, usually it's about like, one of them would say, I just want to have a different relationship with my work. Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Hello? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I got cut off there. Can you
Okay.
just repeat that last thing? They say, I just want what?
They just want to feel better is often what they will say to me. Like they just want to have
Yeah.
more energy. They want to feel better. They just want to, I keep saying they want to they want to have a life again. They feel like they don't have a life. They're just taking 4 million supplements or seeing all the doctors and the doctors are saying, oh, I'm sorry, there's nothing you can do except manage the symptoms. And I think, my point of view is that there actually is something you can do.
Got it. And what is it that you think they can do?
Well, looking at the emotional and energetic underpinnings of
Got it.
immune disorders.
Are they coming to you thinking there's an emotional, spiritual kind of underpinning of this, or is that no? They're
I mean, the closest
Okay,
they would
great.
get would be anxiety or stress. They know that stress plays a part and that they're anxious and they would like to not be anxious.
Okay, so they're coming to you with an autoimmune condition. They're fairly certain their stress is playing some role in it. You see it a few levels deeper, there are causes to the stress that has to do with the self-love and all this. So then, okay, let me just see if I can go back here to what you said is, okay, so let's just take this apart piece by piece. I'm an integrative wellness coach, shamanic practitioner. So if we just cut that out for a second, we just said, I help professional women with autoimmune disorders. Do you want to help them recover from it? Do you want to help them live with it? What's your sort of goal? What do you think is possible in most cases?
Yeah, I think that in a lot of cases, you can actually reverse it.
Yeah.
And so they still technically would have the disorder. I want to be like, I'm real aware that I don't want to say cure
Right.
it. I don't want to say any of that, but a lot of the symptoms and issues go away.
Okay. Well, let's worry about the wordsmithing later,
Okay.
and then we'll just focus on the thing. So for everybody, listening, this is one of the things I'd say is if what they're craving is for the resolution of this issue, yeah, and you think that that's possible, the truth is, of course, there are going to be certain clients where that's more possible than others.
Right.
Um, right. There are going to be certain clients, they walk in the door and it's like, oh, you're going to be the problem child, I can tell. It's just going to be too difficult. But that is filterable, forable. So one of the most important things is to ask myself, okay, if what they're craving is the resolution of this issue, who would be the people that would be best positioned for it to actually be resolved? What would need to be true about them? What would I need from them? What would be their part of the bargain? What would they need to come in with already? When would it be too soon? When is it too late? What's the perfect moment? There's a bunch of exercise, and for everybody, if you're struggling with a niche, if you go to marketingforhippies.com/puttering prep, it's all my best niching exercises laid out there, and I would delve in deep to those. Because then you can say, look, if you're a professional woman, you have an autoimmune condition, and you want to deal with it without being stuck on meds or supplements for the rest of your life. You just want to feel better, and you're pretty sure your stress has something to do with it, and you're willing to do something about that stress. This is perfect for you. And here's criteria of who it's even more specifically a fit for. We can make that kind of a claim. Now, legally, I understand there's provisos on that, but I would just say, however you say it, that's probably the thing to aim at. Because if we go with sorry, I was trying to pull up this. If we go with what you wrote, I help them recover from burnout. I mean, if they're coming to you with burnout, if they think, my burnout is behind the autoimmune flare up,
Right.
fine. But then I might say that is, professional women who know that their autoimmune disorder is being triggered by stress and burnout. Then you could say, I help them deal with the burnout and make sure it doesn't come back. Or increase their energy so they can take their lives back, even if it feels impossible. Yeah, here's what tripped me up about it. Island A and Island B need to be mirrors of each other, or they just kind of are. If I'm coming to you and the big thing on my mind is this autoimmune disorder, the thing I'm going to be craving will be the flip of that. If I'm coming to you with burnout, the thing I want is whatever I would define as the opposite of burnout. If it's anxiety, it's the opposite of anxiety. If it's I want an increase in energy, then obviously Island A is low energy.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then what happened is I see autoimmune disorder, and that's very clear. Professional women with autoimmune disorders, very clear. I get it. But then it jumps to all these other things, which I know are connected, but I had to, you have to make some leaps around it. Because it sounds like, well, you're coming with this autoimmune disorder. I can't help you with that, but I can help you with these other things that
Right.
maybe will help you with that. And so it didn't feel as compelling. And it also, you had 4 different things there: burnout, decrease, anxiety, energy, and then taking their lives back. And the opposite of, so if they're craving to take their life back, it means their life isn't theirs right now.
Right.
So that's four different specific journeys. And then 5 if we add autoimmune disorders.
Right. Okay.
And so then this gets confusing for the listener because they think, wait, what is this about again? Because if you said, hey, professional women who are completely exhausted and depleted, I can help you. Professional women having regular panic attacks. Professional women who are, have burned out multiple times. All of those are very clear. And the island B then is very clear. But what we don't want to do is jump from one island A to a completely unrelated island B. They should be, there's a kinship between them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally does. And I think that is really helpful for me because the people who come to me come exactly like you said. Some come in and say, oh, I'm exhausted and depleted and having regular panic attacks. And they happen to have autoimmune disorders. So it's like these are all different people, and I kind of squished them into one. So would you recommend kind of focusing on one piece of that? Okay.
Well, I mean, it could be that's one way to do it is you pick one of those 5. There's other ways to hone in based on sort of the psychographics, or there are other things, but I just think it's good if there's more focus, because what we're looking for when we say a sentence like that is that your ideal client would say, oh my God, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is completely me. That is exactly the situation I'm in. Or that if you were to say it to me, a picture, a face might come to mind. I might say, oh, I know somebody like that. Or I'm very clear, I don't know somebody like that. But it should be clear. The confused mind says, no, we don't want people being confused. If that's the whole goal, is at least they're clear. And the clarity might be, no, not me. I don't know anyone. Totally fine. Nobody's time got wasted. This is where marketing starts to feel terrible, as well. It could be me, and then you call them up and they say, oh yeah, that's totally you. We can definitely help. And suddenly you're in this program that's not a fit for you, that isn't going to help, wondering why you're there. Can I get a refund?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for your question.
Thank you so much. Very helpful.
Hey, you're welcome.